Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie. At the end of the last episode, wow, Grunty, that's a little too much information there. What a way to start it off. At the end of the last episode, we finally wrapped up the final world of the game, Click Clock Wood. And in this episode, we're going to go ahead and open this next note door, revealing another tunnel yet again. And this is going to lead us to the final area of the game. Get excited. This is it. This is the final part of Banjo-Kazooie right here. We have, of course, collected a total of 100 jiggies, jigsaw pieces. We have 10 jiggies in each of the 9 worlds, and as well as the main overworld, Gruntilda's lair. Of course, we have 900 notes from all the 9 worlds, and of course, all the honeycomb pieces as well, the extra honeycomb pieces. And now it is time to teleport via this big old pad with Tootie's face on it. Welcome all, Grunty's the name. Banjo's here to play my game. My lair is done, and here he stands through all my tricks and traps and lands. This final test will see me win. When Banjo fails, then I'll be thin. The prizes on this stand bring joy. From Tootie down to cuddly toy. A little weird. My little quiz will make you sweat, and Tootie you shall never get. 'Cause somewhere soon along the way, your lack of skill will make my day. 'Cause in the fiery pit you'll go, and I will win the prize on show. So step on over to your square. Press A to try it if you dare. So yes, so we're going to go ahead and do this. First things first, before you start this up, you want to go ahead and walk directly south of the Tootie pad, and you will activate yet again another cauldron. We have one more cauldron left, and it'll link up with that one. But first, we're going to step on this pad with Banjo-Kazooie's face on it. But welcome to Grunty's Furnace Fun. So this is a quiz show, and this is essentially going to be our final challenge standing in the way of us facing the evil witch herself. We are going to be given a series of questions. In order to proceed to Gruntilda, we have to proceed along this path of several spaces. We can only take on one space at a time. The spaces are going to vary based on what type of question or challenge we're going to face. We have the Banjo and Kazooie space, which essentially is just going to be a random question involving a different level of the game, and we essentially have to describe something based off of the different levels of the game. We have an eye switch, which is essentially going to represent the visual questions. Gruntilda is going to give us a scene up on her screen, and it's going to be an image of one of the different 9 levels in the game, and we have to guess correctly which one it is. The audio space, which is indicated by the musical note on it, is essentially going to be a question based off of a sound effect of either an item, an NPC, or just music from, or just the background music from one of the 9 levels in the game. We are also going to be encountering a timer space, which is essentially a timed mini game that we will be completing. These mini games will be one of the mini games that we completed previously on the adventure, which consist of the Tip Top Choir minigame, the Mr. Vile minigame from Bubble Gloop Swamp. Of course, we have the matching minigame from the Pyramid with the Mum Mum in it from Gobi's Valley, and we will also have the Treasure Trove Cove minigame where we had to spell out the name of the game in the sandcastle. I think I might be missing 1 or 2 other possible options, but those are going to be 4 of the options that you might receive. This is a Joker space, so essentially if we get the answer to this question correct, we will have essentially a free pass. Well, I think we were given 2 free passes. Oh, that's Waza. That's an easy one, man. They gave us an easy one for the Joker pad, or the Joker space. That's nice. Yeah, so essentially we are given 2 Joker cards. So the Joker cards will allow us to skip a space. We are given 2 since we answered the question correctly. I believe she still gives you 1 if you answer incorrectly. I can't remember that for sure. I could be wrong there. But we are given 2 essentially free skips. So we can skip 2 spaces if we want to. So this is a visual challenge. This is the space that is marked with the eye. So we're essentially going to have to look at the screen again and just guess where it is. Wow, that was actually kind of a tough one, but that's in Mad Monster Mansion in the cellar. So for some reason the visual ones and the Really, I don't think I've ever gotten any of the visual ones wrong, or I don't know if I've gotten the audio ones wrong either. But essentially, yeah, we're just going to be answering a series of questions. What was first found? That was red feathers. So yeah, so we'll kind of slip in a lot of kind of creative questions like that where you really have to do some thinking. So now we have a timed mini game. So this essentially is going to randomly spawn us into one of the mini games that we did prior in our quest. Of course, we are now spawned in this mummy pyramid where we had the puzzle challenge where we essentially have to use the beak buster move to flip over the different panels, and we have to do the matching game again. So now this is a Gruntilda space. So this is where Gruntilda comes into play. And I actually didn't go back and really memorize or go back and read any of the other secrets she gave us. But yeah, so basically the Gruntilda spaces are going to be where you have to remember the answers based off of Gruntilda's 3 hints that she gave you every time she appeared in the game. Or at least in Gruntilda's lair. Of course, we got that one wrong. These spaces are the hardest to get correct simply because there's so many different answers that Gruntilda gives you along the way in your journey. And that's why I said, like, memorizing them is kind of pointless. I know I kind of said I was going to revisit those, and I really meant to go back and, yeah, this is kind of a guessing game at this point. Oh, we got it right. Very nice. I said I was going to go back and kind of talk about the Gruntilda hints or whatever, but I changed my mind. I'm just gonna kind of wing it. Sometimes you can get lucky and get them right, but this space right here, very important because this can make or break you. If you get the answer wrong to whatever question it is from this space, it's an automatic game over. You have to restart this entire thing over again. So we're gonna go ahead and use our Joker card on that because I don't want to risk getting this far and losing. I know it's kind of a cop-out move, but I don't care. But now we've landed on another audio space. We have to essentially listen real quick. That is... Where is that? Is that Freeze Easy Peak? I believe it's Freeze Easy Peak inside the igloo. Oh, no. Inside Walrus's Cave. Inside the giant mechanical whale. That would have been Clanker. But yeah, so this is essentially how the whole... this is essentially the end of the game apart from the final boss fight. How many carpets? You know, we see, like, there's tough questions like this. Like, how many carpets in Gobi's Sphinx? That's very specific. Wow, okay, yeah, I didn't think I was gonna get that one anyways, but... and another thing to point out is, as you can see, you take damage every time you get an answer wrong. If you get too many answers wrong to where you actually lose all of your honeycomb, like your hits, of course you have to restart the thing over again, just like if you lose to the skull questions, the spaces that have the skulls on them, the questions that they gave you from those spaces. Of course, if you get it wrong, no matter where you are or how many lives you have, you'll lose and have to restart this whole thing over again. And that's Treasure Trove Cove inside of the Salty Hippo, I believe is what it was called, where Blubber was missing his gold with that big ship. But yeah, now we have another Gruntilda space, and yeah, again, this is going to be simply, essentially a guessing game because I didn't take time to memorize I never went back to talk to Gruntilda to remember them. We're going with Freshly Burst Boils. And I do believe that every time you speak with Gruntilda, we have another Joker space. Every time you speak with Gruntilda on a different save file, I believe the answers she gives you are all random. Like, they're not the same on every save file. So if I get some answers right here and, you know, someone happens to be playing along while watching this, definitely make sure you go back and, you know, make sure that they're not the same, or they are the same answers, because it may not be 100% exactly what I'm... Like this, like for example, like the answers she gives you in my save file is not going to be the same in like another save file, guaranteed. It may possibly, but it's not a guarantee. So I definitely wouldn't go by just what I'm answering if I do get some answers correct. Just because your answers could be different from mine and so on and so forth. But you get the idea. Yeah, here's another one. What was her name in Witch's School? We'll go Cauldron Butt because it's the funniest one. And it was wrong, of course. We have 3 Joker cards left, so we are doing pretty well, and we have a lot of spaces we can skip still, so I'm not too worried right now. What color undies does she wear? That's very personal. Sweaty yellow. Of course that was wrong. That sounded like her style, man. Like, Gruntilda looks like a sweaty yellow type of gal. Am I wrong? Okay, that was... I don't know. I'm weird. What would I have for dessert? Cockroaches and cream, rat sorbet, eyeball ice cream. Those all sound amazing. Let's go with rat sorbet. Of course I was wrong. And I love how they have like the random NPC faces, like character icons on each of the answers. I love that. And I think they even make like their little sound when they talk too, when you go over the answers. Boyfriend's name was Greasy Grant. Apparently it wasn't. Wow, we already lost half of our health. Hopefully I don't lose this. That would actually kind of suck because I practiced this recently. Well, I had a playthrough of this game where it wasn't like that long ago, like maybe a few weeks ago, and I just did this part. So I'm hoping I can pull this off, but it's not looking good. So something else I didn't mention is the white spaces, of course, are free spaces. You just essentially don't have to do anything there. You can just kind of move past them as soon as you get there. But most of them will have honeycombs, so you of course want to grab those if you are low on health. So it may be a good idea to do some backtracking and maybe take a different path to get some honeycombs around the white spaces. Hog breath, there we go, we got it right. We'll move this way. No, we're gonna go this way, even though there's a freaking possible death right there coming up. And we just have to watch the screen. That's definitely Mumbo's Mountain. Yeah, so like I said, like some of these are going to be easy, some might be difficult. All the ones you see on the screen, it's very hard to mess these up. There may be one or two pictures that she shows from what I remember that are kind of hard to determine where it is, but for the most part, and the audio ones, easy in my opinion. Listen for this one. That's Freeze Easy Peak? That's in the igloo. That has to be in the igloo. In the Foggy's igloo with his little bear cubs. Inside Banjo's house. Inside the squirrel's tree house. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. That was Nabnut's house. Yeah, it is. For some reason I thought that was the igloo. I don't know why. Alright, so we have another timed mini games. Yeah, so this is the Sandcastle game in Treasure Trove Cove. The name of your game you must spell backwards though, be quick as well. So yeah, so if you remember in the initial, or the first time we did this in Treasure Trove Cove, we had to spell Banjo-Kazooie, the full title of the game. However, in the Grunty's Furnace Fun, I believe, I am pretty confident that it is every time you have to do this, you have to spell Banjo-Kazooie backwards. And I think it's the same every time you do this particular mini game. So essentially we're doing the same thing, but just spelling it backwards. So kind of takes a couple seconds to kind of remember, or to kind of think about what letters you need to do first. But once you kind of get the first few, like 3 or 4 of them, it's pretty cake. Like this is probably, if you have to get any of these time challenges, this one and maybe the matching puzzle are probably the best ones that definitely the 2 you want to get, because they're definitely the easiest. Here's 3 facts on Freeze Easy Peak. The one that's true is what you seek. Alright, so we have 5 giant ice cubes live there. There are 5 snowmen. It features 5 bears. Definitely not 5 bears. I think it's 5 snowmen. There are slushes? Oh no. Okay, I was wrong. I was actually kind of confident that was the answer. Gobi's Valley looks a hand. Who hides a jigsaw in the sand? That would be Grabba, the mummy hand. Dabba, the daddy hand. I love that. Alright, we have another visual one. Like I said, these are pretty easy in my opinion. Maybe there's someone else that has problems with these, but that's Mad Monster Mansion. That's in the center of the mansion where the monster's holding that jiggy. Or the tee-hee guy, the big tee-hee. Whatever the hell his name is. Let me see your memories, Foggy. What's the name of my pet doggy? See, these are just so random. Like, it's so personal for Gruntilda, but they're just... The answers and the choices you have are so out there that it could be literally any of them. And I got lucky on that one. My luck's at school and never thin. What award did I always win? So this one's hard. Biggest butt, dirtiest undies, sweatiest socks. Wow, so many great choices here. I love these choices, honestly. Like this is... this part of the game gets so much hate. And I understand why. It's very tedious. It's very like... annoying to do, especially if you get a lot of the Gruntilda spaces wrong and have to end up like redoing the whole thing. I didn't listen to that. I think it was a honeycomb. But I have to say, the humor that they add with these questions, some of these answers, oh no, I hate this. I used to be good at this, but for some reason I've grown a hate for this one. I don't know why. Let's see if we can do better than... Maybe we can do better than last time. I feel like the first time I did this in Bubble Gloop Swamp, I really botched it up. So let's see if I can maybe, you know, kind of improve my skills here. Wow, they're really doing a long one from the start. I don't know any of this. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Purple? pink, yellow, dark blue, red. Wow, I'm doing good. Purple. Okay. Pink. Awesome. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. See, look at this video and don't look at when I did it in the episode when I was at Bubble Gloop Swamp. I was horrible at it, but that was a much better attempt. What's wrong with that? Oh, he lost his gold. Talking about blubber. Yeah, some of these questions I actually have memorized because sometimes they do, like if you do this mini or this Grunty for, we'll go ahead and skip that space since we have a skip. If you do this Grunty's Furnace Fun multiple times, or have to end up redoing it multiple times, you kind of get some of the same questions, so it makes it a little easier if you're doing it like after the first attempt. Please circus. That sounded the best. I don't know why. You didn't like that answer. All right. Across the sky, I love to glide. What type of broomstick do I ride? This one. I believe it's Lardmaster 2000. I think. No. Okay. I was wrong. I swore that was one of Gruntilda's answers she gave us in this playthrough. I'm not pretty. I'm quite a mess. What do I hide under my dress? I don't really want to know. I don't think. Massive bloomers, a flea circus. Okay, so it's not a flea circus. Reinforced girdle? No? Oh my gosh, this would be... this is like the end here too. I cannot die here. Here's 3 answers, one you'll pick. What's my amazing party trick? To blow balloons up with my butt. That one I'm not gonna say out loud. Yeah, sure, let's go with this one. Oh, it was right. Oh my gosh. I literally thought it was gonna be like the 3rd choice or something. Great. And we have a possible death here. And I'm gonna be a cop-out. Should I do it? Should I use my Joker card? We're gonna do it. You know what? It's the last space. Let's just do it. I don't know why I'm doing this. Oh, it's okay. Oh, thank goodness. I thought she was gonna give me something extremely hard for this one. That's Click Clock Wood. That's the switch that you ground pound to open the fall door, or the door to the fall section. Oh man, we did it. I cannot believe that was my first attempt. I don't think I've ever gotten this on the very first attempt. That's crazy. Okay. We won. So that's essentially Grunty's Furnace Fun. That's... wow. I really thought I was going to struggle a lot more on that. But 2D is the first prize, as weird as that is. She's... not only does she kidnap her sister, but now she's... I guess it's essentially like auctioning her up. Or putting her in an auction. But yeah, so essentially Gruntilda's going to run away. So this is it. We finally got 2D. Which prize shall we take, Kazooie? Me. Or how about that grotty ugly thing? Oh wow. I think we should take 2D. That's what I meant. Wow, Kazooie is salty. Kazooie! Please, can we go home now, Banjo? I've had enough adventuring for one day. Sure, let's get out of this dump. Man, what a great family here. So yeah, so essentially that is the game. No, so this is actually kind of odd, but this is one of the only games I've seen where they actually show the credit sequence before you actually fight the final boss. And they actually have a funny scene coming up where I won't kind of spoil it too much if you've never played this game, but it kind of essentially makes fun of the fact that like we're seeing this credit sequence right now, and that Banjo and Kazooie never went up and actually fought Gruntilda. We just kind of get 2D as like a prize for beating Grunty's Furnace Fun. And then of course it activates this credit sequence. But yeah, the game's not over yet, as much as it seems like it is right now. And I feel like the people playing this for the first time, and I don't even remember as a kid, because I don't think I ever beat this as a kid. It took me actually years after, you know, several years later to actually go through and finish it all the way through, or, you know, and even 100% the game. I never did that as a kid either. But I think anyone that's playing this for the first time, they're probably really confused at this point, because they're probably thinking they like beat the game and it's done. But there's a scene coming up at the very end of this credit sequence, which is hilarious in my opinion. And I think it's just, I love how they break the fourth wall in this game, and they do that a lot more in the sequel, I believe. But they do it a lot here coming up after this credit sequence. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, but that was Grunty's Furnace Fun. So again, not the end of the game. So I'm going to kind of still talk through this because there's still some scenes coming up after this. But yeah, I have to say I have I have never had that easy of a time with Grunty's Furnace Fun from what I remember. I think there's maybe been one time I can think of where I may have got it done in the first or second attempt, but that was a very easy run for me. I've never had it go that smooth. Like I've always at least failed one of those like spaces with like the skull on it before, where like I had to restart the entire thing, of course, because that's an instant death, like, or game over. So you have to restart the whole thing if you get, even if you're like all the way at the end, like that final space I was on. And I do believe that final space is always a skull space, so you essentially are like do or die in that very final space. And I had a Joker card, I could have used it, but I just wanted, for the sake of, since I'm recording this and posting it on YouTube, I just thought that, you know, thought it would be kind of cool to kind of just take it on, and kind of, I just felt very daring at the time or whatever. But yeah, that's awesome. I don't know, I just feel really shocked that I got through it. So like I literally thought I was gonna sit here like attempt after attempt after attempt, and I would have been, you know, like 2 to 3 hours of recording just this one section. I would have had to edit a lot of stuff out, but this was the first attempt. Like this took me, like, what are we even at, like 20 minutes? Like that's kind of crazy to think that. But anyways, you know, hey, why not have something kind of go right, you know, on a playthrough like this? So but yeah, I have to say, and again, I know this is not the end of the game, but I have to say I have enjoyed this Let's Play a lot. Of course, this is one of my favorite games of all time, especially in the 3D platforming genre. This is definitely up there for me as definitely one of the best 3D platformers of all time, but one of the games I can definitely go back and replay almost any day of the week. Like I can replay this game every year, never get sick of it, I swear. But yeah, I do love the, kind of want to go back and what I was saying about the NPCs. Like we have Naughty there. The NPCs and like just the charm that this game brings is really, I think, one of the main selling points that this game had when it first was released in 1998. The dialogue, the humor, of course, it even had like a pretty dark story for like a kid's game, you know, back then in 1998. You know, I was like very little at the time when this came out, but I still remember enjoying the heck out of it. And it was one of those games that really stands out to you and kind of like you remember it because of the characters, the witty dialogue, you know, some of the awesome missions or jiggies you get in the quests that you have to do in order to get certain jiggies in the game really stand out. And especially the NPCs, like even Bottles, like he's really not in the game a lot other than when you have to learn a new move. But even every dialogue he's given, every piece of dialogue he is given as a character alone is like just gold. Like his back and forth with Kazooie is just phenomenal, and just like little things like that. And you have Mumbo, of course. Little things like that just make this game stand out. And of course you have like the different transformations every time you find Mumbo's hut. Of course, Mumbo Jumbo is his full name. I never really said that, I don't think, before. It's just such an awesome game. And then on top of it, you have such a well-designed platformer. Like this game, again, like this was initially released on the Nintendo 64. For that time, like this was like great. Like this is essentially like the, you know, what we see on like the new generation of consoles with like the graphics are just out of this world. Back in 1998, that's how it felt like playing this game. And like, especially as a kid, like this was like everything. And like it felt like a real universe, a whole real, you know, real world. You know, that you kind of were, you know, it kind of gets you like out of like reality for a little bit, and you kind of go to this place where it's like, you know, you just kind of get lost in this world and all these characters, and it feels very real, and everything feels very important. And you're on this quest to find your sister that was taken. Like everything is just, and it comes to fruition at the end, of course. And we're not even done yet. I mean, this was like the last thing that stands in the way of us in the final fight. But I mean, come on, dude. Like every world always has like something that like is significant and like essentially like stands out in each of the different worlds and all the different levels. And of course there's, you know, some of the more tedious ones, like of course Mr. Vile's minigame. But yeah, I have to say, I mean, the NPCs, the level design, again, the humor and the dialogue, the creative, well-written and creative dialogue in the game, even some of like the just some of the side quests you do for some of these jiggies, or like being able to essentially encouraging players to go back and explore the, you know, each level from top to bottom to achieve 100% completion. Like there's just so many rewarding factors from going back and playing through this game from start to finish and exploring every little square inch of all these levels that you can. It's just so rewarding. You do feel rewarded at the end. And there's games I played where, you know, you have so many collectibles and so many things to do, but it doesn't quite feel rewarding in a way where like you feel good about what you did and that it, you know, it kind of feels like it paid off essentially. This game really makes you feel like that, and I really mean that. Again, which is why it stands out to me as one of the best, not only one of the best 3D platformers, but one of the best games of all time in video game history, in my personal opinion. But yeah, that's really what I have to say in terms of just the game and how much I love it and all the good aspects of it. Oh, here we go. We got a nice little cookout going. Oh, okay. I was scared. I thought my game was freezing there for a second. Like Mumbo's flipping some burgers or whatever he's doing there. He's got the goldfish on the grill. I love that. Bear and Bird did good. Helped Mumbo beat Witch. Yeah, but they needed my amazing moves to do it. No way. Me and Banjo were the stars of this game. I mean, you guys are in the title, so to be fair. Hootie, nice to see her back. What's the party for? Grunty's got away, so get back up there and finish the job. Oh my goodness. Awkward. Party over. It's not done yet. I'm not going. Kazooie. Ouch, yes you are, let's go. I love that. They're just breaking the fourth wall. She's essentially saying, you know what, talking to the player, like, the game's not over, you have a job to do. But now we respawn right back into where we did Grunty's Furnace Fun, and we can now declare ourselves as the star prize. I love it. Yes, so we are not done yet. Like I said, we finished Grunty's Furnace Fun, which, as much as HE double hockey sticks as this is, we are not finished with all the fun yet. So yes, so we have one last thing left to do. This was the final challenge standing in the way of us and taking down the evil witch herself, Gruntilda. We have not forgotten what she did, taking our sister. And here is the final cauldron, the final transportation cauldron that links us with the beginning of the Gruntilda's Furnace Fun location. In case we have to restart the game or, of course, walk all the way back down there for any reason, we can just easily transport ourselves right back up with the cauldrons. If you go ahead and look through this window, you'll see a nice 1998 computer-generated sky. That looks kind of creepy still. And a nice little 1998 computer-generated moon. Gotta love that. And we have another note door. So as you know, we have every note in the game, so we do not have to worry about meeting this requirement. But that's going to do it for this episode. So next time on Let's Play Banjo-Kazooie, we take her on and see what lies behind this note door in the next episode, which will be the last. I will see you then.